Everyone lock in, because this is definitely one of the cards of all time. And I say that with confidence. UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier this Saturday. One of the better cards I have seen in my entire lifetime. And I'm going to give you my prediction and breakdown for every single fight on the card. So let's do it. I'm so stoked for this first one. Starting out the card, Carly Judas versus Nicole Cagliari. Me in the head. Carly Judas has good striking. She's coming off a nasty head kick KO. The fact that I have watched film on this, even in the first place, makes me want to blow my head off. It's the way it goes, I guess. Nicole Cagliari is, she has good, when she plays trips up against the fence, she does good. She gets good body lock control a lot of times too. When she has an undersized opponent, it does work very well because she has actually decent strength for the division. But Carly Judas is going to be way bigger. She's taller, she's longer, and when Nicole Cagliari does throw in striking exchanges, she throws in bursts. Her guard kind of drops. So say she throws a left hand, her right hand drops. Say she throws a right hand behind it, her left hand drops. Her guard's not really there, and when you're fighting a person who's a lot longer and is going to be able to just dip out and throw a pull counter at you or something of that nature where they can just snipe you, it's not going to go well for you on the feet. And then when it comes to the grappling exchanges, I don't think that Nicole Cagliari is going to be able to out physical Carly Judas. So I'm taking Carly Judas. I think she gets it done by probably decision. Let's see, what did I put? I think I put decision. I did. I put Carly Judas by decision, most likely 29-28 because it's women's MMA, but who knows? Moving on from that. Bruno Ferreira versus Jackson McVeigh. So I've watched some film on Jackson McVeigh. His striking isn't very good. It's kind of sloppy. He is very, he's tall for the division, or at least tall in this matchup, which in his past fights, he only has 6 fights, but there was a few fights where he fought someone who was a lot shorter than him. And when he did enter into striking exchanges, he would blitz in a burst and he would try to work in the clinch and throw knees into the clinch and try and find a trip or drop down into a double leg or find a way into his grappling. But it was the knees that were his primary tactic in fighting someone who was a lot shorter than him, which Bruno Ferreira in this situation is going to be a little bit shorter. But that being said, I think Bruno Ferreira is going to be able to land a big one at some point early when Jackson McVeigh does go and reach for those clinches, the single collar ties. Sometimes he reaches in for just a tie clinch straight up. He puts himself into danger and he almost overextends in just trying to grab for the clinch. And there are a lot of openings for Bruno Ferreira to possibly slip inside and throw an uppercut, or even as he's pushing away from the clinch, throw a bomb over the top, over the guard, slap it around the guard or something like that. And Bruno Ferreira's grappling is very, very underrated. So when it comes to Jackson McVeigh shooting a takedown or anything like that, I just don't see it really happening, to be honest. I think Bruno Ferreira is very underrated for 185. So I'm taking Bruno Ferreira. I think he lands a bomb. I think it's going to happen in the first or second round. I just don't trust the striking just yet from Jackson McVeigh, but we'll see. Probably one of the worst fights on the card is next. Ryan Spann taking on Lucas Brzeski. I don't even know if that's how you say it, but he's terrible. He is not good. Neither of these guys are good. Ryan Spann pisses me off. I think that's for the majority of UFC fans. No one likes Ryan Spann. And Lucas Brzeski's terrible. He's 1-5 in the UFC. He beat Walter Walker somehow. It was kind of a competitive fight. I don't know how the hell that happened. He's getting TKO'd by Mick Parkin in the first round. He's getting destroyed by Carl Williams and Waldo Cortez Acosta and Martin Bidet. And I think he fought Kennedy Nzechukwu at one point. It didn't go well for him. He's just not good, dude. And neither is Ryan Spann, especially moving up to heavyweight. And when Ryan Spann does win fights, he just talks about how, like, he didn't train and how he doesn't care. And Lucas Brzeski, he's not good either. He came into the UFC at 8-1, and now he's 9-6. He is not good. Ryan Spann doesn't train. He moved up to heavyweight just so that he could fit in a few more cheeseburgers every day, and it's pathetic. That being said, I have to take Ryan Spann because Lucas Brzeski has shown me nothing other than the fact that he loses in the UFC. I'll take Ryan Spann, I guess. Sorry, I just needed to make fun of both of these guys before I had to pick somebody. Moving on. Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Prachnio. Again, awful matchmaking. I mean, no one wants to watch this. I'm gonna take Jimmy Crute because Marcin Prachnio seems to be at kind of the end of the rope for me. And Jimmy Crute, his grappling entries and his top control is actually not bad. And Marcin Prachnio's shown the ability or the susceptibility to being held down kinda and just kind of being outwilled. And from a technical standpoint, I just think that Jimmy Crute's grappling is just gonna be the difference maker in this. I know that he hasn't won a fight in 5 years. When was the last time Marcin Prachnio didn't he win his last fight? No, he lost to Modestas Bukoski. He beat Devin Clark and William Knight. Who cares? It's a toss-up. I'm taking Jimmy Crute. Terrible matchmaking. So is the next fight too, but I'm taking Jimmy Crute. I'm not even going to try and explain myself further. I'll take him by decision, After that, we've got Adam Fugit versus Islam Dulatov. Islam Dulatov fought in the Contender Series. He fights in bursts. He throws looping shots typically. He's not a very straight punch merchant or anything like that. We've seen it on the Contender Series and in his regional scene film. Very much just, he's going to throw an 8-punch combination at you, and then he's going to reset completely, wait another 15, 20 seconds, and do the same thing exactly the same again, which is overwhelming for a lot of people. Adam Fugit is finishable, so I'm taking Islam Dulatov, obviously. I mean, I don't even know what the odds are for this fight. Yeah, he's minus 625. Good lord. Adam Fugit is the type, though, to... what's the word? He's gritty. Even if he gets cracked with a few good shots, he's going to do everything he can in his will to stay in there. But with a guy like Islam Dulatov, and his last fight being a nasty elbow KO, by the way, if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to go look it up. It was a nice KO. I think he's gonna get hit with something, and it's not gonna go well for him. On the flip side of that, if he doesn't go down and go out completely, I worry heavily about Islam Dulatov's cardio. In the Contender Series fight, he got a first round finish, but even a minute before the finish, we were a minute or two into the fight, and he was clearly gassed because he throws so much into these 8-punch bursts that he has, and he fumbles finishes a lot. I noticed he fumbled 3 or 4 finishes in that fight before finally landing a big elbow. So I do worry about that a little bit, but I just think Adam Fugit is too finishable, and Islam Dulatov is going to be able to overwhelm him at some point with one of those bursts. I'll take Islam Dulatov by first round TKO. First round KO. After that, Atiba Gauthier versus Robert Valentin. Robert Valentin got screwed in his last fight, didn't he? Yeah, Torres Finney, that prick. And then Ryan Loder. And I don't think Ryan Loder's good. I think that Robert Valentin is very mediocre. I wouldn't say he's bad. He is hittable. His takedown defense is pretty good, especially as the fight goes. His gas tank is pretty decent. But against a guy like Atiba Gauthier, I think he's gonna get clipped. People are looking at this guy as the Francis Ngannou, basically. The Francis Ngannou of... He's the Francis Ngannou of 185. Isn't he from Cameroon, I believe? Atiba Gauthier has shown me every single fight of his that he's gonna take someone's head off. So until that doesn't happen, I mean, what do you expect to go down? He's gonna take someone's head off. And fighting one of those Hispanic dudes that are very, very hard to knock out, kind of rough around the midsection, not in the best shape. Those guys are very hard to put away, and he flatline KO'd him with a knee. So I trust Atiba Gauthier to get a first round finish here, which does kind of blow because I do appreciate Robert Valentin a little bit. It is what it is, but I have Atiba Gauthier by first round TKO. After this, Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Varetnikov. Isn't Francisco Prado Isn't he a 55er? I swear he's a 55er. Yeah, he is. Lighter man skill. I don't think that Nikolai Varetnikov is getting any better anytime soon. I mean, he's 36, isn't he? He's 35. He hasn't won in the UFC, and he hasn't fought good competition. He fought Austin Vanderford and got mauled the whole fight. He was mounted for, I shit not. The fight was 9 minutes and 13 seconds. He was probably mounted for like 8.5 minutes. It was not fun to watch. And then he lost to Danny Barlow. And I don't think that Danny Barlow is very good. And we saw that. He got fraud checked by Sam Patterson really bad in the first round of his last fight. I'm taking the lighter man skill in Francisco Prado. He's shown, actually, to me at least, he's shown better strides in his UFC career. And I feel like he's kind of been dealt a shit hand in terms of who it is that he has fought. Fighting Jamie Malarkey in your debut is a little bit rough. Then they give you Ottman Azaitar. Getting the finish there is good. But then after that, you get Daniel Zellhuber and Jake Matthews. That's kind of rough. I trust in him to finish a guy like Nikolai Varetnikov, who hasn't shown the ability to grow just as a fighter in general. Like, he hasn't shown any. It seems like he's getting worse on the ground. His striking is very mediocre in the first place, which is what he's supposed to be good at. Yeah, I'm taking Francisco Prado because the way that I think Nikolai Varetnikov is going to be able to out-muscle him, just as the true 170-pound guy, is on the ground, but Varetnikov's grappling's terrible. So I just don't see that happening. I'll take Francisco Prado. I think he gets it done. I'll take him by decision. Next up, Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori. Yeah, this is on the prelims. Good job, Dana. You're doing a great job out there, bud. Top 10 matchup at heavyweight, at middleweight. It's on the prelims. I don't know what the is going on. We have Michael Johnson opening the main card, so shoot me in the head. I think Marvin Vettori is washed, and that's not crazy to say because I think a lot of people think that. The problem with this, though, I'm gonna take Brendan Allen, but Brendan Allen is so stupid. He has some of the lowest fight IQ I have ever seen. I don't trust Brendan Allen, even though I'm picking him. So the problem I have with Brendan Allen is sometimes, say Brendan Allen shoots a single leg, and he's deep in on the single leg. All he has to do is flip the guy over, turn, run the pipe, and he's got a takedown. He'll see something, he'll see his opponent's head in a certain position, and he'll just rip a guillotine and pull guard. And you're like, what the f*** are you doing? You were about to be in top half guard, you dumbass. And he's on bottom cranking on a guillotine that's not even close, by the way. Or he'll be on top position and he'll roll for a submission that's not even close. You know how when you go to your first couple jiu-jitsu classes, position over submission, fight the hand, 2-on-1, the basic stuff that they teach you in your first couple classes. All of that is out the window with Brendan Allen. He does not think. There's no fight 2-on-1. There's no position before submission. He'll roll for a Darce when it's not even the dude is already shrimping out to get up to his feet. Brendan Allen's in side control. They're shrimping out, and he'll just pull this weak Darce that's across their nose, across their eyes, and they just slip out and get up to the feet. And you're like, why the f did you do that? But me saying this just shows how little I care and how little I think of Marvin Vettori at this stage in his career. I'm taking Brendan Allen by decision. Marvin Vettori, I just think, can't hurt anybody at this point in his career. I think his striking is very sloppy. He relies too much on the fact that he can't get knocked out because he has the best chin I've ever seen. He relies too much on that, so his guard almost drops and he tries to take one to give one, but he can't give one. He's a fucking retard. But so is Brendan Allen, so who knows? But there is bad blood here. They got into a fight recently in Vegas, I think. Marvin Vettori tried to sucker punch him. I think he dropped Brendan Allen at one point and he sucker punched him. And actually recently Marvin Vettori just had a family member pass away. He's probably going into this fight with a bunch of bad blood and bad intentions, which I don't think will help him. A lot of times that doesn't do you well. I'm taking Brendan Allen by decision. Kyler Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. People who know me personally know that Vinicius Oliveira is one of my favorite fighters on the roster, period. Not just prospects, just fighters, period. So I'm taking Vinicius Oliveira. I think he's going to get a TKO in the second round. Because he starts a little bit slow. He's kind of the type of guy to make reads on you, kind of find see what your tendencies are in the specific matchup once you guys get into the cage. Say you start throwing a bunch of inside leg kicks. He starts picking up reads on that, finding ways around it, finding ways to get you out of your comfort zone. So the first couple minutes might start a little bit slow. They could not because he is crazy and could just throw a flying knee and knock him out in the first minute. But Vinicius Oliveira has shown a lot of growth. He had problems with his gas tank originally is what it looked like against Sopai, and then he knocked him out with a flying knee because he's crazy and he's a lunatic. But he had problems with the gas tank, and then he had problems with the grappling was one thing that I was really scared of, and Ricky Simone couldn't take him down. Ricky Simone had no answers for him. And Kyler Phillips, I just think, isn't completely invested at this point in his career. He doesn't show up very often. When you're getting worked by Rob Font in 2024, that's not good. Something's going wrong if Rob Font is manhandling you on the feet. Not to say that Rob Font sucks, because I think Rob Font actually isn't terrible, but that's a tell, because I think Vinicius Oliveira would fuck up Rob Font on the feet. I'm taking Vinicius Oliveira by second round TKO. Main cards, Michael Johnson. 23-19, 40-year-old Michael Johnson fighting Daniel Zellhuber. I'm taking Daniel Zellhuber, and I'm taking him by first round, probably brutal TKO. I don't trust Michael Johnson. He's the most streaky fighter on the roster, and he's been KO'd really, really bad a couple times. Specifically, the Diego Fajeda one was absolutely brutal. He's coming off a couple wins in a row, but I just think Daniel, this is the new generation of MMA. Daniel Zellhuber is very well-rounded. I think the length is going to be a problem for Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson does like to blitz in and kind of overwhelm you almost. He's not looking to land a bomb. He's looking to overwhelm you with a variety of strikes, which I don't think is going to do well, because with Daniel Zellhuber fighting a guy like Esteban Ribovic, who I think is just more technical and has a very similar style almost to Michael Johnson, I just think that Daniel Zellhuber is going to fuck him up, dude. I'm not even going to go into this. This pisses me off. This is on the main card, so I'm not even going to talk about it, actually. Matter of fact, Daniel Zellhuber, first round KO. I think it's going to be brutal. Next up, Patricio Pitbull versus Dan Ige. For people who don't know too much about Patricio Pitbull, he has had problems in the past with guys of a similar frame as him. There's not very many people who have a similar frame as him, like the short, stocky, boxing heavy kind of style, I guess you could say. He doesn't really do well with that. Michael Chandler, short, stocky, brutally KO'd him. Sergio Pettis, he has trouble with the shorter guys, and that was early in his career. So a guy who's boxing and is of a similar frame as him, he does not do very well. So I'm taking Dan Ige. I think Patricio Pitbull joined the UFC way too late in his career, and yeah, well, how old is he? He's 30. Yeah, he's 38. And this is not going to go well for him, I don't think. I'm taking Dan Ige. I think it goes to a decision. Yeah, this is a main card fight in 2025, and Dan Ige's looked pretty sharp recently. I think the TKO, the early stoppage that he had against Sean Woodson, that was impressive. And I thought he looked really good against Lerone Murphy. He dropped him in that fight. So even that loss to Lerone Murphy, he looked good. He grew as the fight went against Diego Lopez. I think Dan Ige is actually really solid. I'm taking the youth in Dan Ige. Good Lord. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. Kevin Holland seems to give a shit about his career as of recent, and that's why I'm going to take him. And I don't think that Daniel Rodriguez is good. I said this in the last fight when he fought Ponzinibbio, and he somehow got a KO, and it was nasty. I'll give him that. I'm taking Kevin Holland. In 2025, I'm taking Kevin Holland to win a fight. Good Lord. What did I put? I put third round TKO, I guess. Or submission. He could pull another Darce, for all we know. Who f***ing knows? Moving on from that, I'm not even going to break this down, dude. Daniel Rodriguez is 50 years old or some shit. Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. I'm also a very big Roman Kopylov believer, just like Vinicius Oliveira almost. Paulo Costa is of the old middleweight generation, which that generation is just kind of on the downslope. Even with a guy like Jared Cannonier, who's won as of recent, I just don't trust it. I just don't trust this old generation when Izzy was the champ. Like, I don't trust a Whitaker anymore. I don't trust a Paulo Costa, a Jared Cannonier. I just don't trust them. And as far as this fight is going to stay on the feet, Roman Kopylov is very, his technique is very based around feints. He's going to get you to move one way and make you have this false sense of security into thinking that you're safe. He throws a straight, you parry it down the pipe, it's coming down the pipe, you parry it, go to the side, and there's a head kick waiting for you. Like the Leon Edwards thing, or like when he knocked out Chris Curtis. Like that. He makes you think that you're safe, and then next thing you know, you're getting a shin upside the head because he's worked off of feints for 2 straight rounds, and you're like, where the f*** did that come from? We've been in here for 14 minutes, and I've been doing the same thing, and I've been safe the whole time doing the same thing, and now I did the same thing, and I got kicked upside the head. So what happened? I trust in Roman Kopylov to get a finish here. Realistically, I think Paulo Costa is just too much of a dog that he's going to be able to stick it out to a decision. I have Roman Kopylov by 30-27 decision. I don't trust the old era of Paulo Costa, of middleweights. And this is a co-main event. Good Lord. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm taking Roman Kopylov. Yeah, whatever. Main event. Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway 3. I'm taking Max Holloway. What are the odds on this fight? You guys are looking at it. Okay, it's about even. I expected Poirier to be a favorite here. So I'm taking Holloway for a few reasons. For one, Poirier as of recent, I know he's had a hip replacement and his knees are bad. He's just getting old. Clearly, it's this retirement fight. Max he used to be very boxing heavy, and as of recent, maybe not as of recent, because he has done this his whole career, but he's gotten very, very good at it as of recent, is working on the lower half, working on maybe not shots to the body, but shots to the legs. Like, he has that stomp that he used, which worked very well against Ilya. A boxing heavy style, that lead stomp that he does is going to be he's going to be using that all night, especially being like the longer guy. He's going to be able to get in and out with that stomp very, very well. And again, Poirier's body is fucking breaking down. Like, he can't throw a leg kick, dude. He can't turn his hip over because his hip is like fused together. He literally can't throw a leg kick. So if Max can just step in and stomp on his lead leg and get out and not have to worry about a left hand coming down the pipe, that's going to be a huge problem. Another thing, I don't like the mindset of Poirier being, this is it. I'm done after this, win or lose. There's not too many people that I've seen have done that and openly admitted, yeah, this is it for me. This is the end of the road. Win or lose, I'm out. I think the last person that we saw that did well with that was the Nico Price-Robbie Lawler fight. But prior to that, no one has done well. When they said it was Anthony Smith, he just fetal positioned. Yeah, this is my last fight. And he's fighting a killer. Zhang Mingyong just like splits his skull open in the opening minute and he just fetal positions. It's just not a good mindset to have, I don't think, going into a fight thinking, yeah, man, I'm done anyway, so who cares? And for three, this is my third point. Holloway looked so good against Ilya. Not to say that he was like up on the scorecards or anything. Holloway's got the in and out movement down, I think. And I'm hoping, at least, because it looked like he did when he fought Ilya. He was getting in and out of combinations very well. He would feint high and rip a two to the body and go untouched. And it was Ilya. I think Ilya is the best boxer in the UFC. I don't know how that's going to work too well with a southpaw, because Poirier's lead right hook is fucking nasty. I think Holloway's mastering and he's only 32, dude. He's 33. He's not that fucking old, and he's still evolving, I think. So I think the lower half strikes are going to be huge. I think Poirier's mindset is favoring Holloway in this. I think that Holloway has mastered the concept of just getting in and out and not getting cracked, which was a fucking problem in the second fight where they called him Muffin Top Max because he looked a little bit chunky and he like clearly hadn't put on any muscle or anything and he didn't look good. In that fight, if you rewatch that fight, Holloway was kind of just sitting in the pocket and exchanging, and it was not going well. He was getting up. I don't think he's going to do that, especially with his chin being cracked in the last fight. I don't think he's going to want to just stand in the center and wing hooks at each other. I don't think he's going to want to do that. I think he's going to understand, okay, my chin finally got cracked. I'm just going to use my in and out and lateral movement and stick and move the whole time. And maybe in the last 10 seconds, all right, we can trade. I have Holloway. I have him by decision. The chin does scare me a little bit for Max, because when guys do have that kind of a granite chin, like a Tai Tuivasa, you want to talk about like that kind of the Islander chin is what they call it, I guess. When his chin got cracked by Cyril Gahn, it was like all of a sudden he just kind of went full retard mode and went down the drain, which worries me a little bit with Max. The strength of Poirier, though, dude, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Max does stand in the pocket like he did in their last fight, but I don't think he will do that. I think he's too smart to do that. But we're gonna find out on Saturday night, man. We're gonna find out on Saturday night. Doesn't matter, because we're gonna find out on Saturday night. Anyways, yeah, that's what I think. I think Holloway wins this. It'll probably be 40. I'm gonna take 48-47 for Max. I think it is gonna be the fight of the night, because when was the last time that you saw one of these guys fight and it wasn't entertaining? When was the last not entertaining Poirier fight? Spoiler alert, there isn't one. I just looked through literally his entire thing. I'm reading all these names. None of these were boring. I mean, good lord, this guy's a animal. Yeah, this is gonna be fight of the night. I'm excited. But yeah. I got one more video coming out tomorrow, and then we got fight day on Saturday. Appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe per usual, and let me know if there's anything you want me to change in the future, anything you want me to add in the future. Yeah, I ain't going anywhere. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.